Three can keep a secret if two of them are dead. Have You Seen Me seamlessly picks up where Gossip Girl leaves off, but with more sex, more lies, and more dead bodies a la How to Get Away with Murder and You. When a coveted member of a group of entitled yet ambitious 20-somethings goes missing, their deadly secret is threatened to be exposed. But the real question is, who will be next? Read Have You Seen Me by creator Candy Washington on Amazon Kindle Vella, or listen and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Candy Shop. What is up? So today we're going to catch up on the latest episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville. A lot happened. There's a lot to get into. So as you come into the room, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your candy canes in the comment box. I want to know, where are you listening from? What team are you on? Team Marsua, Team Tisha, Team Martell, Team Melody, all of it. Stormy, Tiffany, we are going to get into it today. Hi, Charisse. She says, hey, Candy. Hey, sweetheart. How are you? What is up? What is up? Let's invite you guys come into the room and like it. And before we dive in, if you are into self-care, any of that stuff, 1 second, you guys have to answer this text. Yes. Okay, I'm here. Yes. Hey, everybody. Hey, Robin. She goes, hey, girl. Hey, what is up, sweetheart? What is up? Team Kimmy. I am Team Kimmy, too. And I want to get into to Kimmy a little bit on this episode because I feel like Kimmy doesn't get enough of her due. So let's dive in. Let's go on. Let's get into it. Oh, that's right. That's what I'm saying. If you're into self-care, wellness, manifestation, all of that stuff, everything is linked below. I have a podcast. I have a Create Your Dream Life series course that is amazing. I'm getting such great feedback on that. And there's so much going on. There's free goodies, there's movies, there's books, there's merch, there's all of it. So be sure to check out the description box below for everything. But with that, let's get into it. Let's dive right on in. All right, so at the top of the scene, we have Tisha. No, at the top of the scene, I believe it's Marsua and Martell and what's the other one, Maurice, where they all meet at Black. And Maurice is essentially looking for an apology from Marsua, who is so narcissistic that, and again, alleged in my opinion, not a doctor, that he is unable to say sorry. He's unable to say, you know what, bro? I was being really shady. I posted that pic on Instagram because I wanted to blow up your spot because I wanted the heat to come off of me. I didn't want to be the only one in the group, other than Martell, he's a lost cause, to everyone being like, oh, you're a cheater, you're this, you're that, you have 20 wives, you have 2 kids on the side, da, 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 da. And he should have been like, yeah, I did a really shady thing. You're my brother and I'm sorry. Speaking of him being his brother, am I the only one who always, and I mean always, forgets that Maurice is older than Marsua? Like, what? I think it's just because Marsua looks so older, I guess. But then it makes sense too, because you know how they always try and shade Kimmy's age? So if Maurice is older than Marsua, and then Kimmy is older than Maurice, then now it makes sense how Kimmy and Miss Wanda are more contemporaries, right? Because if Maurice is the oldest of the boys and Kimmy is older than him, then that makes more sense how she's closer to age to Tisha's mother. But I always forget that Marsua is younger than Maurice. He just seems older to me for whatever reason. But let me know what you guys think. But then you could tell that he, and I'm talking about Marsua now, knew what he did was messed up, because in the confessional, he's all like, oh, yeah, well, I threw him under the bus, but I'm not going to apologize for it. He should have just said he was there like all of us did. So you knew what you did was wrong, and you knew you were throwing your brother under the bus, but you just didn't want to admit it. Now, this episode, Martell, I am actually Team Martell the entire episode, and that is saying a lot because Martell is problematic, Martell has issues, but I want to be fair, and I want to just make sure that I am just not being biased, not too biased. Hey Leo forever, what is up? Hey baby girl, she goes, good afternoon, Candy, the candy canes. Hey sweetheart, Carla dropped some candy canes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes. So I want to be fair, but I was Team Martell this entire episode. Let's just jump into that, and we can get into all the other stuff in a little bit. So when it comes to Martell versus Melody, in this particular episode, Melody to me was 1,000% all the way wrong. 1,000% all the way wrong. There's no way you slice it. There's no way you cut it that what she did was okay. It wasn't. It was dirty and it was dead wrong. First of all, she had that fake scripted scene with her beautiful, intelligent daughter, Mariah. And when I say this, obviously I will never ever speak ill of anybody's children. So when I have an observation about the scene, it is not about the child. It's about the scene. Because I'm never ever going to speak ill of anybody's children, especially Mariah. She's gorgeous and beautiful and so intelligent and amazing. However, I do think that scene was completely scripted, heavily scripted. And again, with Melody, she's doing the most. She's doing too much. Every scene with Melody is so produced. You can tell whoever she's talking to that before they got the scene together, that she went to them and said, these are the things I want you to say, and these are the things I'm going to say. Because if you really think about it and squint, Melody, this entire season, and almost even last season too, really hasn't gotten in any dirt. Like nothing is really coming up on her. This is the same old Martell cheating story, which is old now. Like who cares at this point? She's being too crafty. Like in the first couple of episodes, her conversation with Kimmy about the post, that was completely scripted and fake. Her conversation with Kiki at the girls' pajama party, that was completely scripted and fake. You could tell so because every conversation Melody has, she is manipulating it for her to look good. And for her to, even with Kiki, she was like, oh, so didn't Tisha already know there were problems in her marriage? Oh, wasn't other people already trying to tell her stuff? And Kiki was like, yep, yep. And to me, if you're my family, even if we're not cool, just because we're family, you don't do that. You don't roll that way. So to me, every single scene Melody has been in has been highly scripted and super, super fake and really, really in this narrative to try to make herself look good. Even with the scene with Mariah, this whole like, oh, we go and we do our auditions and it's great. And so Mariah, I just want you to know you need to be a strong, independent woman and never, ever, ever depend on a man, blah, 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 right? Let me tell you why that is such BS. The reason why it's BS, not the message of what she's saying, but the connotation in which she's saying it in. The connotation of what Melody was saying to her daughter was, your daddy ain't nothing. So I now have to go out and provide for everybody and be this boss babe. So I want you to grow up so you don't ever have to depend on an ain't nothing man like your daddy. That was the undertone that Melody was saying all of this in. Because I don't care if they're divorced. I don't care if they're not together. Melody and Martell always have something going on. Every other word out of Martell's mouth is Melody. And everything Melody does, low key and high key, is a jab, it's a comment, it's something about Martell. Everything she does. And the reason why I thought it was so dirty what she did is because you may have an issue with her father, but you don't need to talk about her father in that slick way, that undertoned way, that behind the scenes manipulative way. Children are smart. Mariah knew basically we were saying, your daddy ain't nothing, so now I have to go out here and get this bread. Don't you grow up to be with an ain't nothing man like your daddy. That's basically what Melody was saying. And no wonder Mariah looked so uncomfortable and it was such an awkward, heavy, scripted scene. And this whole, like, I want to be like Serena Williams thing, like, I'm sorry, that just to me seemed completely scripted and completely off. So Melody missed me with the whole thing. And this isn't the only time she's weaponized her children against Martell. I'm sure he's done it too, but I'm only going to talk about what happened in this particular episode because there's so much. So I'm just going to stick with what happened in this particular episode, okay? So she weaponized her daughter that way. And it was cringy to me because you can have an opinion about the father, but you don't ever poison your ex to your children. You just don't do it. You don't pit them against each other. It's nasty and gross. And then I'm going to tell you why I think she was 1,000% dead wrong. I'm going to get, Leo forever. I'm going to get to your comment, then I'll get into it. So Leo says, Melody claimed that Martell did not give her enough notice. Then he just let her know a day ago about the book signing. I think she's lying. I think that's a lie. I think that's Melody covering her tracks because she knows it's not looking good and she knows that it's not in her favor and she looks very bitter and she looks like she really used her children as a weapon. And you know why I think that's a lie? Again, this is alleged, a fun kiki, just in my opinion, because she told on herself. Again, every episode of Melody is entirely scripted to force a narrative she wants us to believe about her. When she was on the phone with her mom with the FaceTime, clearly she was never going to bring the kids to the book signing. She said to the mom, she said, he sent an email, and then she said he texted or something like that, and he was talking about the girl's hair, like the children's hair, like, are the kids going to have their hair done? Should I get their hair done? Blah, 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 all of this stuff. That indicates right there. So she told on herself, he was in contact with her about the logistics. He told her the date. He asked if the kids could come. He asked about getting the girl's hair done. Melody was in her feelings. And she was being bitter and spiteful. And that is why she didn't bring the kids to come. Because you don't have the conversation about the hair, about the time, about this, that, and the third. And just, you know what I mean? She already admitted he was texting. She already admitted he was emailing. So she told on herself. I think now she's trying to say, I only got a day notice, blah, 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 because she's trying to backtrack to make herself look good. Do I think in the past Martell has been shady with the comments he's made about her? 100%, but they both have been shady as hell about each other. The reason why I blame Mel more in this situation, honestly only in this situation, is because it's really about the kids. It's not about tit for tat. It's not about parenting skills. It's not about any of that. Melody knew her children co-wrote this book. There's no way you don't know your children co-wrote the book. Your children's name are on the book. Melody knew the children co-wrote the book. And Melody knew that the children were supposed to read the book at the signing. Because because Martell said it. The kids were excited. They knew what was going on. It's their book too. And there's no way the kids wrote a book and knew that they're going to read the book at the signing without being like, Mommy, guess what? Blah, 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 blah. Melody knew. She's trying to play stupid now. She's trying to say now after the fact, blah, blah, blah. But I don't believe her. Again, this is my opinion, but I think she's lying to save herself. Do I think in the past Martell has been shady? Yes. But in this particular moment, I think Melody is dead wrong. Because it wasn't just Martell's moment. It was the children's moment too. You can't get on TV in your daughter's face talking about you need to be a boss, you need to be this, that, and the third, never depend on anybody. But then when your daughter goes and is a co-author on a book, it is the daughter's book signing as well. It is her moment as well. And you take that moment from your daughter because you want to be spiteful to your ex-husband. And that is what it boiled down to. And I'll give Melody the benefit of the doubt because I still think she's lying. Even if it was one day. I am not a parent, but if I were a parent, even if it was 24 hours notice and my child wrote a book and there was a book signing and they were supposed to read their book and it was a big moment for them and they had been working on this book for months, you better believe I'm bringing my child to that book signing. I don't care if Boo Boo the Fool or the clown is there, 24 hours notice less or not. So Melody doesn't have an excuse because in this particular instance, it's really about the children. And it was really the children's moment. Imagine those kids. They worked those months writing the book with their dad. Their book is now published. They are published authors. There's names on it. There's a big event for the book. They're supposed to be reading it and being exciting about it. And they don't get to go. So that is why I really blame Melody in the situation. So Wanda says Martell should have scheduled the book signing on his week. Okay, good point. And I'm going to tell you why that doesn't matter, or that's not true. Because one, when you saw it, it was like a convention. It was like a pop-up. So when you have events with multiple vendors, usually there's the actual event staff that's there overseeing everything, and they pick the date. So there's a difference between, you would be right 1,000% if it was his book signing for the book. Yes. If it was just Martell's book signing for the book and he had control, it was his event, it was his thing, right, do it on your week. But when you do conferences, when you do conventions, when you do tours and things like that, where there were other people there, Martell does not control the date. If he has a spot, he just has the spot. And like he said, in their co-parenting contract, on special days, the kids can go with the other parent. And you better believe, if it was the tables were turned, if it was Melody who had written the book, or Melody's mom book, and she wanted the kids there, and she had asked him to come, and he didn't show up with the kids out of spite, could you imagine this? Could you imagine Melody's response? Could you imagine? Hey, Hot Spicy Tea. She goes, hi, Candy, new subscriber. Oh, hey, sweetheart. Thank you for subscribing. That's right, you guys. If you're having a fun kiki, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with a friend, because a kiki is better with community. Mwah. Love you guys. Hey, Pumps in a Bump. What's up? She says, I agree, Candy. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just like Melody. And it's so sad because season 1, I loved Melody. I thought she was the coolest person. I thought she was just so fun and all of that stuff. So to me, I think Melody has really fallen from grace. Do I think her brand is great? Do I think she looks good? Do I think she's getting her coin? Yes. But I actually think her character and her likability has fallen so much. The mask has come off and the cracks are showing. And I actually really did feel bad for Martell this episode, and that is saying a lot, because it takes a lot for me to feel bad for Martell in any situation. But in this one I did, because this wasn't about any of the BS. It wasn't about the side baby. It wasn't about the side chick. It wasn't about cheating. It wasn't about this or that. This incident really, truly was just about the children. And you cannot look your daughter in the face and be like, you need to be a boss. And then when she's written a book, you take that moment from her because you want to be spiteful because you're still mad at your ex-husband. That is why I think Melody was dead wrong. And I think now she's trying to put out, oh, he only told me, 1 day ahead. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Why didn't he change the date? He can't control the date. He can't control the date. Events with multiple people. It wasn't his event. He was a guest at the thing. He can't control the date. And it was a special day. And if the Melody lost her damn mind. She would have lost her damn mind if he did not bring the kids on one of her special days. Melody was just in her feelings. And the victims in this are the children. That's what I gotta say on that point. Hey, Leo Forever. Hey, sweetheart. You're absolutely correct, Candy. Thank you. That's right. It was about the kids. Hey, BJ Daz. She goes, hey, Candy. It's been a while since I've caught your lives. Yay! I do watch the replays. Thank you, sweetheart. What is up? What is up? I took last week off because as you can see, I'm traveling. So, but we're back. We're doing it now because I'm back. I can do stuff. Okay. So let's get into it. Okay. Okay, let me know what you guys think about this. This might be an unpopular opinion, but Tiffany is kind of growing on me. You know why? I kind of feel like Tiffany came in so hot and strong because she was windmilling for Melody. Sort of like how Jennifer, if you guys watch Real Housewives of New York, comes in hot and strong when she's windmilling for Teresa. But the truth is, the actual villain is Melody and the actual villain is Teresa. I kind of feel like that when it comes to Tiffany. But when it comes to her husband, he can miss me all day. Big Lou, to me, and I don't mean this, I mean, this is just a kiki fun. I'm not being disrespectful, just kiki fun. He is just a cornball. He's cheesy, he's corny, he's whack. He's whack to me. Because to me, Big Lou has so much mouth. He has so much bravado. He has all of the smoke for all of these guys when it's him and Tiffany. When he's sitting on the lawnmower last season in his own house, when Tiffany's sitting on his lap in his own house, he has all the smoke, all the bravado, all of this, that, and the third. But when you get into the men's faces and their presence, it's oh, okay, yep, okay, yep, you're right, okay, my bad, man, yeah, you cool, yep. So miss me with the BS. Like, I need integrity. I need consistency. If you have all this smoke, Big Lou, behind the guy's back, have the same energy in their face. Or, which I think would even be even better, take accountability that you're whack. You did come on the show hot. You did come in thinking you could have an opinion on everybody's marriage. We are the commentators, not you. You're actually a part of the cast. Do you know what I mean? He came in way too hot. So Big Lou can miss me with all that. Hey, Charisse, and the way he said, and he's going to ask me if the kid's hair was done, sounded petty and bitter. Exactly, Charisse, exactly. You could tell she was being nitpicky, she was being petty, and she was being very, very bitter. And you were 100%. And that's when I was just like, she did this on purpose. She purposely wanted to not bring the kids, and now she's saying he didn't tell her, but she told on herself with that. Because how are you talking about getting the kid's hair done? You know the date, you know the time, you know the place, but you want to say he only told you the day before? That doesn't even make sense, Melody. Melody, you're lying and you got caught. Hey, BJ, I totally agree with you when it comes to the children. Exactly. Many people roll for Melody, but during the last season, and this one, I'm definitely seeing her in a different light. Me too. 1,000%. My how I feel about Melody has changed so much. So much. Like, because this is the thing. Every scene with her, it is so scripted and it is so manipulative and it's so her trying to spin a narrative about herself. And I don't like to watch it anymore. To me, I don't like to watch her. I don't agree with a lot of what Tisha does, but I like watching Tisha. I love watching Kimmy. I can roll with Destiny, blah, 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 all of the chicks. But when it comes to Mel, it's hard to watch because I don't know, like, I'm like, who is this what is this representation I'm looking at? I don't get it. Tiffany is growing on me. Did you guys notice this pattern? Rock with me on this. Almost every season, it's been about 4.5 because they had that weird lockdown season where it was like a long season that was half. But it seems like this is the pattern with Melody. She comes in, she has a good friend. Like season 1, I think she was like actually close with Tisha. And then Tisha and Kimmy and she was close with Kimmy. But then Kimmy and Tisha were kind of beefing. And then it turned out that Melody and Tisha had the falling out. Then the next season, who was it? Like Destiny came in, and then Destiny and Kimmy were beefing, even though Melody and Kimmy were good. But then Melody and Kimmy kind of had a falling out. Then it came in with Tiffany, and then Tiffany and Destiny were beefing. But then it turned out that Melody and Destiny had a falling out, right? And now it's Stormy. Now Stormy's coming in as Melody BSFs, and she's beefing now with Tiffany. So if the pattern continues, it's only a matter of time before Tiffany and Melody have a falling out, because that is her pattern. She has the BFF, then she has someone come in windmill for her, and then she falls out with the BFF. Then the person windmilling becomes a BFF, and then a new BFF comes in, they have a falling out. So we'll see that. Let's move on to Marsua and Tisha and this infamous apartment. Do I think Marsua and Martell / Maurice / all of them / all the Brodericks, whatever their names are, have a secret apartment? Yes. It's either an apartment or maybe it's like a starter, like a small starter home that, you know what I mean? Like doesn't cost that much money. I do. I believe the rumors. I'm that girl. I believe the rumors. I believe the rumors. And the fact, and because this is another reason why, I think when it comes to two things. One, when it comes to the Scotts brothers, if they are actually telling the truth, their responses are very direct because of their arrogance. So if you actually come up against them and they are actually telling the truth, it is very direct because they're so arrogant and prideful. So it's a hard no, it's a hard yes when they're telling the truth. But when they are lying, again, because they're so narcissistic and arrogant and prideful, they like to run like linguistics and semantics Olympics around you because they think in their little narcissistic heads that they are the smartest person in the room, and they think that they can out talk you, or that they can out trick you, or that they can out semantics you. Oh, you said room, it was actually, a cove. You said apartment, it was a condo. So you asked me if I was there, but like at 5 o'clock, not at 6. You know what I mean? Like they try and do those little dumb mind tricks that nobody falls for. Because if you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably the dumbest. Just putting it out there. So I think it was there because Maurice did the same thing. When Kimmy asked him directly, "Did you sleep with the linebacker? Did you cheat on me?" It wasn't. Yeah, his answer was not yes or no. He was like, "Oh, what do you mean? Oh, what are you talking about? Why would you ask me that? Oh, blah blah blah." And then he was like, "No, I never slept with a linebacker." Or he said something slick like that. Do you know what I mean? Where it was just like, you actually could have slept with the linebacker. Like you pull a Bill Clinton. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. But what did you? You know what I mean? He was trying to be real slick with it. But we're not stupid. We're on to you. Martel and Marsua, probably Maurice and the other boys and the other crew, definitely have a place where they go and smash the homies. Let's just keep it 100. The whole you have 20 girlfriends. We're all doing dirt together. Marcel posting a pic of Maurice there. Their little, guy squad is crumbling. And they're all going to start eating each other, throwing each other under the bus. But Martel, honestly, as much dirt as he's done, he's actually been the most admirable this season. He did apologize to Maurice for, kikiing and laughing when Marcel posted the picture exposing that he lied at the reunion. And this was the other thing I wanted to say. This is also how I know Marcel was lying. People always tell themselves, did you check this? Let me know if you caught this, right? When Marceau was talking to Tisha and he said, "Oh, I talked to Martel." And she was like, "Oh, you did? What did Martel say?" And first he was again, doing his word Olympics. Oh, he was talking about, we met up with Maurice and Maurice wanted to all that BS. But then what he said, and this is how he told himself. He goes, Martel says, man, I'm paraphrasing here. Basically, he was like, man, I don't want you to end up like me, protect your marriage, it's all good. I don't want you to end in a divorce like this, blah, 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 protect your marriage. It's all good. It's all cool. That was code for don't tell the truth because I got your back. You don't have to be honest about this apartment we got because I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to ruin your marriage and I don't want you to get divorced like me. So, man, I'm going to say mum's the word. Basically, that to me is what that meant. Mum's the word. Martel basically was just giving him a heads up. You don't have to come clean because I got your back, homie. Mum's the word. I don't want you to end up like me. That to me proved the rumors were true. It may not be an apartment, maybe it's a condo, maybe it's a cottage, maybe it's a hut, maybe it's an Airbnb, whatever word semantics they want to use to get out of being honest, they have a particular place where they go to smash the homies. In my opinion, alleged, okay? And Martel was giving Marceau a solid. Mum's the words, homie. You don't got to come clean because I ain't saying nothing. I don't want you to end up like me. That to me shows guilt. Because if you called me and you were like, Candy, there's this rumor that you and me have this, secret apartment where we go and cheat on our husbands, blah, 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 blah. I would be like, girl, that is crazy. That's nuts. Of course not. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, what are you talking about? We would never do that. We love our husbands. We're faithful to our men. What are you talking about? That makes no sense. This is laughable. I would not say, listen, don't worry about it. Like, I got you. Don't say anything. You know what I mean? Like, mum's the word. Keep your mouth shut. I got you because, like, I got divorced. I don't want you to go to this. That's what I would say if I was guilty. That's what I would say if we really did have the secret apartment and we were smashing the homies, right? They always tell themselves, always, always, always. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. Hazy, I don't agree about the Mel and Tel situation. She stated she stated she does not deal with him at all. Oh, she stated she does not deal with him at all. They don't do in-person drop-off. She had a restraining order against him that she just dropped. Okay, if all of that is true, it does not take away from the fact that that man is still the father of your children. If you don't deal with him at all, whoever the mediator is should have been able to mediate the situation to get the children to be at the book signing. Because it wasn't like the kids were going only for Martell. The kids wrote the book too. And that is what I think people are missing. It's not that Martell threw a party for himself because he wrote a book. He was at a convention. He was at an event with multiple vendors. He did not control the date. And it was also the children wrote the book too. It was their moment too. It's like a graduation. Would you not let your kids go to their own graduation? They worked all these years to graduate school. Would you be like, no, we're not going to your graduation? No, that makes no sense. The children worked on the book. It's their book. And if they don't do in-person drop-offs, then whoever is doing the drop-offs could have taken the kids to the book signing. He didn't say, Melody, you have to take the kids. He said, can the kids come? So whoever is doing the drop-offs can take the kids. And that's an even bigger, see, if that's true, then that's an even bigger reason why Melody is petty and messed up. If you're not doing in-person drop-offs, you didn't even have to see this man. You didn't even have to see this man if that was the truth. You didn't even have to see this man, but yet you still didn't let your kids go. Whoever is doing the drop-offs could have dropped the kids off. And the whole thing is, this was a moment for the children. But Melody wanted to be petty and bitter and make it about herself. This wasn't Martell's book signing event. This was, I wrote a book with my children. Their names are on it too. This is our thing. This is our event. And it was at a event with multiple people there. So any way you slice it, no, Melody was dead wrong. Dead wrong. Hey, Charisse, Marcel never speaks in absolutes when he's lying. Exactly. Charisse says, exactly. Yeah, he doesn't. It's always like this word salad, soup bomb that makes nothing happen. Hazy, something happened between them and there was no contact. He shouldn't have done it on his weekend like Mel scheduled everything she wanted her kids at on her week. He could have passed. But why? No, I don't think so. Why should he pass on a big event for the kids because she's being petty? I just think all around, Melody was just 1,000% dead wrong, petty boots, bitter Betty, trying to get back at him. Because you have to love your children more than you hate your ex. This wasn't about Martell. This was about the kids. I don't have kids. If my niece or my nephew wrote a book and it was a book signing for a book that they wrote or co-wrote, and whoever is there, I don't vibe with, there is no way on God's green earth I am taking that moment from them because I love them more than I care to beef with anybody in this world. And that is the essence of the problem. And then she was such a big hypocrite. Then you want to have this fake phony moment with Mariah about being a boss woman and blah, 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 blah. And your daughter co-wrote a book and you're not even letting her have that moment because you want to be bitter about her dad? No. No. Hey, BJ. She goes, I believe the rumors as well. Exactly. I believe the rumors too. I think the rumors are true. Hey, Gemini. She says, yes, right. What is up? Airbnb. Velda says Airbnb. Hey, BJ. Maurice also had a bit of a smirk when he answered Kimmy. Listen, I said this on my last recap, and I mean this in a respectful way, but there is some type of pathological. I don't even know what the correct. I'm not a doctor. There's some type of like pathology with these men, with like the Scots. Not even so much Martell, honestly, because to me Martell seems very immature, a little cocky, whatever. But Martell usually fesses up, and Martell doesn't do all of this wordsmithing, all of this like mind Jedi Knight stuff that the Scots brothers do. Mark, Maurice, and Marceau, all three of them have a very sick way of thinking that they are smarter than everybody and trying to manipulate people. And it's very sick and it's very twisted. They do a lot of gaslighting and they're very, very dismissive. When Maurice said to Kimmy, I don't care, but if you care, then I guess I'll care for you. That was so disgusting and that was so slimy and so dismissive. Basically being like, well, if you want to be over here in the corner overreacting, being too sensitive, doing the most, then fine, I'll care because you care, but I personally don't give an F. That's basically what he said. And that is extremely dismissive. And then Marcel was like, oh, Kimmy doesn't care. I think Kimmy cares. I mean, Tisha. But let's get on Tisha and Marcel. Okay, Zell said Mel had back-to-back funerals the previous weekend and she went alone because he had the kids. This week she planned to bring her kids. She had a party for the baby with her family. No, I'm sorry. There's nothing Mel could say to make this right. Also, a funeral, do children need to go to funerals like that? Come on. Hey, Z, I am team neither. I have been in her shoes where my kid's father always needed something on a weekend, and sometimes he didn't show on his weekend. Oh, I'm sorry, Z. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. Hey, one and only Mara, not a hot child. Hey, Velda, it's all for TV. She told him no, and he knew she wasn't. Mattel played decision for TV sympathy. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Hey, one and only. That was super petty of Mel. Sorry. It was extremely petty. I don't care. She can make every excuse in the world that she wants to make. She was just being petty boots. Point blank, period. Hey, Velda. Yep, Martell saying y'all better chill because my situation sucks. Yup. Hey, Cherise, Martell spoke on the book and the kids being authors in the second episode at the photo shoot for the calendar. Yup. And he teared up with the fact his kids were authors, making Mel looking even worse. Exactly. Like, I'm sorry, but in this situation, and I'm isolating it because I'm not saying anybody has been an angel, but in this situation, there is nothing anybody can tell me to make Mel right. Nothing. What she did was dead wrong. And she showed herself, her slip was showing when she had that fake FaceTime with her mom. She knew in advance about the book signing. She was in her feelings because he made a comment about the girl's hair. She was in her feelings because he's doing something with the kids. She's in her feelings because she's bitter about everything that's happening. 100%. And she took out her bitterness on Martell, on her children. And that is the unfortunate thing about it. The kids were the authors of the book. It was their moment, funeral or not. She's making all of these excuses. Hey, one and only Mara, preach, candy girl. Yes, that's right, you guys. If you're having fun, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. And if you're into self-care and wellness, after this, I'm going to do a self-care session. So stay tuned. Hey, one and only Amara, right, that was so produced when her mom called. That's what I'm saying. Every scene with Melody, it is painful to watch. Carlos King, I love you. You are a rock star. But we have to check the Melody scripted scenes. Every single scene with her, she is literally feeding each person lines. With the Kiki at the pajama party. Oh, well, didn't this happen with Tisha before? Oh, well, didn't blah, 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 blah. oh, Mariah, blah 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 blah. Like it's like the work is showing too much. It's too much, and it's like there's no more. And I love the show. I'm going to continue to watch and recap. But at right now, it it's not real. It's too produced by Melody. Every scene she has is fake, phony, scripted. And every scene other than that is only talking about the reunion, which I think is bizarre and weird. And like them saying the word reunion takes me out of the reality. It makes me remember, oh, I'm watching a show, not I'm being immersed in people's lives. And every other scene is just them talking about social media. What's going on in their real life other than bloggers and the reunion? That's all they talk about now. Every single episode, every single scene, pretty much has just been talking about the reunion and what's going on the YouTube streets or on blogs. Like what I want to get back to like watching their lives, not them just sit here and give a commentary about what's going on YouTube. Hey Wanda, Martell doesn't do the wordsmithing because that's intelligent as a Scott Brothers. Remember, Martell can't even pass the builder's license test. Aw. No, you're right that he can't pass the builder's license test. That's true. But the reason why, this is the thing, I think they're different personality types. I think all of the men are somewhere on the spectrum when it comes to narcissism, but there's a different tick. There's a different tick when it comes to the Scott brothers. It's weird to me. It's bizarre. Very, very bizarre. Hey, Cheryl. She goes, I think they both hurting their children. Yes. I agree 100%. And that's why I wanted to be clear. When it comes to what I'm saying on this episode, it's just about this episode and it's just about this particular situation. Because do I think they both have weaponized the children at times? Yes, I think they both have done that to each other. Melody has done it. Martell has done it. I think they both have been petty. But I think this example has been the biggest one and the one that has been most in our face, right? Hey, Charisse, I agree, Cheryl. Using the kids as pawns is deadly. I agree. Toxic. Yup, I agree 100%. Hey, one and only Amara. Exactly, Asha. It's painful to watch. It's painful to watch. And this is the thing. I love this show, and the show is doing great, and I want it to continue, but I kind of want it to get back to its original freshness, its original realness, because now it's too produced now, and it's too just commentary on social media. Like what else? Like what else is going on? Hey, one only. Yup, Omi G over here at that conversation with Kiki. That to me was so dirty. And then again, Melody likes to, after the fact, come with some BS statement trying to make what she does right. Melody was like, oh, well, I knew Kiki before I knew Tisha. And this is alleged. This is a comment somebody said. So I'm not verifying that. But I think someone said she said that on like a YouTube channel or something. Again, I'm going to give Melody all of the benefits of the doubts. Let's just pretend that's true. Let's just pretend you knew Kiki before you knew Tisha. Let's just pretend. That literally means nothing, nada, niche, baba, baby, nothing. Just because you know someone first or longer doesn't make it right that you then use them as a pawn against their own family member. I don't care who you knew longer. I don't care. I don't care who you met first. You still did dirty. You don't beef with me and then bring my family on the show to trash me and throw me under the bus. You don't bring my family, especially not when you have a cast of women. Is Tiffany no longer windmilling for you? And so you couldn't go to Tiffany? You never could get Kimmy to do your dirty work because Kimmy is actually her own person. Destiny, now you're on the outs with Destiny, so Destiny's not going to go and do your dirty work for you. Who else is there? Why didn't you get Stormy? I'm sure Stormy would ride for you at this moment, but given your track record, you and Stormy are about to have a falling out in 2.5 days. So come with it. The only person you could get to co-sign this fake scene was Tisha's cousin. That is new low. That is new dirty. I don't care if you knew Kiki first. And that again, that could also just be a lie, trying to make herself look better, trying to absolve her from her own guilt. I don't care who you knew first. You don't get my family on this whole national show to talk about me and my life. You just don't do it. It's dirty. And that to me is a line you don't cross. You don't cross certain lines. You don't talk about my mother. You don't talk about my children if I had them. And you sure as hell don't try and get my family against me. If I'm beefing within my family, that's within my family. But you don't take that and use that against me. No, Melody missed me with all of this. Melody was dead ass wrong for using her children, and I feel bad for the kids. It was their moment. I'm a writer myself. If you guys want to buy my books, it's all linked below. I'm a writer myself. I know what it takes to write a book. Children's book or not, I know what it takes to write. And I know the pride you have when you finish it. And I know that feeling you have in your heart when you can hold your book and it's in a print and it's there, being able to share that with the world. And she took that from her children. And that is why Melody is dead ass wrong. Dead wrong. Hey, Velda, I agree. She was petty. Yup, if it was real, but I think it stayed with Martell. He knows the assignment. You know what? That's a really good comment because who knows at this point? And that's the sad part. Who knows what's real and what is staged? Because at this point, everything they do, I kind of squint and I'm like, is this real or fake? Is this scripted? Who wrote this? Hey, one and only Amara, painful to watch. Sorry. Oh no, you're right. You good, girl. All good, sweetie. Hey, Donna D, my favorite parts of Melody with her beautiful little girls. They are so cute. They are cute. This is the thing. Melody and Martell made some beautiful babies. Intelligent babies, beautiful babies. Actually, all the kids on the show. Marsua and Tisha's children, Kimmy's son, Maurice's son. Everybody has beautiful children. Everybody does. Hey, Donna D, it was Martell's fault. Okay, why would he schedule a book signing when he didn't have the kids? He just wanted to see Melody again and infringe upon her time with the children. See, I don't know if you just came in, but no, I don't agree with that because this is the thing. Again, it wasn't his event. It would be one thing if it was Martell's book signing, his event, and he picked the date and all of that. He didn't. He was a part of a bigger event. It was like some type of have you guys ever gone to like a convention or any type of group tour? That wasn't Martell's choice on what the date was. And he already said in the co-parenting contract on special days, the parent can go with the other parent. And also it was a children's book too. It wasn't like Martell's calendar reveal and he happened to book it on a day he didn't have the kids and he wanted Melody to bring the kids on this day that he chose to his calendar reveal. No, you have to really think about this critically. It was and again, if this is even true, because we know that they're making up stories and all this stuff is going on. But it was at a convention. They had other vendors there. So clearly it was somebody else's event that he was a part of. They choose the date. He asked her, and I believe Martell. I don't believe Melody. I think she's lying through her teeth. He gave her the heads up because he was so excited for this. He gave her the heads up. He asked about the girl getting the girl's hair done. He wanted to do it in the contract on special days. And to me, if the children wrote a book, got the book published, and then now they're going to do a book signing and a book reading of their book, that is a special day. And it was for the children. It wasn't just for Martell. If it was his calendar reveal, miss me. But it was for the children's book. Melody was just dead wrong. I'm sorry. There's just nothing. And again, over here at the candy shop, you can always give your opinion. And I love your opinion. You don't have to agree with me at all. So if you have a differing opinion or you don't agree, keep those comments coming too. All opinions are welcome here. Hey, Cheryl, before my mother passed away, she told me no matter what happened between you and their dad, never keep them from him. Exactly. It's like I said before, you have to love your children more than you hate your ex. You have to separate the dirt. You have to separate it. Maybe he did you dirty, or what the situation is, maybe she did you dirty, whatever the case may be, whatever. That doesn't mean that justifies making your children suffer. And no matter how you slice the situation, let's say this is a fake storyline for them. Let's say it's not. No matter what, the children one day will watch this and imagine how their children will feel when they see this. Because the kids might be watching it now. Kids these days with their iPads and iPhones and the knickknacks, this and the third. You know what I'm saying? Hey, one and only Amara, agreed at Cheryl. Yup, when I was separated from my husband, I never kept my sons from him. Exactly. Kids need their dads too. Exactly. Yes, 100%. Kids need both parents. They need both. And this is another thing. People will be like, oh, deadbeat. Melody to me, God, girl, missed me with this whole situation. First, she wanted to like gaslight her daughter against the dad, being like, don't you ever rely on a man, because the undertone was, because your daddy ain't nothing. But then when the dad is actually showing up, co-authoring a book with his kids, having this event with the kids, you want to keep her from him. It doesn't make any sense to me. Sheree says, Kimmy was like exit stage right with this drama. Exactly. Yes. Okay. And speaking of Kimmy, because I want to touch on Kimmy. I want to say about the honeymoon, a couple of things about the honeymoon. Okay. So I'm so happy they're finally going on the honeymoon. Better late than never. When it comes to Maurice and Kimmy and the honeymoon, is it suspect it took this long for them to go on a honeymoon? Yes. But do I also want to give a little bit of grace that, like, if a guy is understanding, hey, I have been neglectful. Hey, I have really taken you for granted. Hey, I've really, taken advantage that you're being so cool with everything. Let me step up and do something nice for you. Because I actually think Maurice did have an aha moment last season when he was going to therapy with, I forget the therapist's name, but that guy who's like amazing. And the guy really broke it down to him about everything. So I do think Maurice had a legitimate aha moment where he was like, wait a minute, I might need to check in my marriage a little bit more. I might need to actually, really take care of Kimmy more. And that's when he did that sweet romantic date. And he was like, let's go on our honeymoon. So I'm going to give him some grace for that. Took way too long, but better late than never. And at least I think he's genuinely trying. So I'll give him some grace with that. Kimmy. It warms my little heart when I see Kimmy get so giddy. Like, she was just so excited. She was so joyful when she was just like, we're going on the honeymoon. And she was like packing, and she had a little baby voice for him. Like, I am here for it when I see Kimmy being all pink and gushy and just soft and vulnerable. And just, I love it. I love seeing Kimmy just embrace her feminine energy and just embrace that feminine side of her, that soft, luscious side of her. I love seeing it. She had that same side when Maurice surprised her with a dinner and he invited her for the honeymoon, because as tough as Kimmy wants to be, Kimmy holds it down. She raised her son on her own. She had her own, houses, her own real estate. She was a nurse. Kimmy holding it down. Kimmy holds it down. But yet she deals with the BS with Maurice, but whatever. And she puts up a front. Like, oh, I just kind of resolved, like, it's okay if we don't go on the honeymoon. Like, I just kind of decided, like, it was fine and that just might not happen and I'll be okay with it. But you could tell that was eating her soul. You could tell that really was hurting her, because of course it was. You waited 7 years to actually get married. And then when you actually got married, you didn't even get a honeymoon. Of course you're feeling stupid. Of course you're feeling insecure. Of course you're feeling taken advantage of. Of course you're feeling less than. Of course you're feeling all of the things, because what the hell? I waited 7 years to marry you and you couldn't even take me to Cabo? Like, come on. You know what I mean? So I love seeing Kimmy just be so girly and so happy, and to get that moment, get that special in her heart, because I'm sure she was feeling hella crazy and probably feeling like everybody thinks I'm stupid at this point, right? So I love seeing Kimmy like that. And I love Kimmy. She's one of my absolute favorite characters on the show. Hey Cheryl, she went everything to be her way. Melody, yep. Hey Cherise, and that's why Mel has to cycle through best friends like underwear. Yes, yes, I showed you guys the pattern. I'm telling you, every season and a half, it's a new BFF. Someone comes in windmilling, then the person who was the BFF has a falling out. The windmiller becomes a new BFF, and then she starts to cycle all over again. Tisha and Kimmy and Destiny and Tisha, Tiffany and Destiny and Stormy. It's a lot. It is a lot. Hey, Velda, you guys are assuming it was spelled out by Martell. He could have just said, I have my book signing and I want the kids there, and are you doing their hair? And it's never as simple as we think. To me, it's as simple as we think, because to me, the only thing that matters is my children wrote a book, and there is an event in their honor. I'm going to make come hell or high water that they're there. If there's a reason why I don't want to see him, my mother can drop him off. My brother can drop him off. I can have his mom come pick him up. I can have somebody on his side come pick him up. There are ways, if you don't want to see this man, to get your children to where they need to be safely. It is as simple as that. It is as simple as that. I don't have children, but if I did, I have nieces and nephews. If they wrote a book, if they wrote a poem, if they wrote a freaking haiku, and they had the opportunity to read it, and it was in honor of them, you better be sure they would be there. No questions asked. You don't do that. She was being petty. She's being petty as hell. Hey, Deborah, I disagree with you. I disagree. You know Martell's a narcissist. And I don't blame Melody. He wanted camera time. You see what he's done in the past. He needs to schedule it on his week. See, I don't know. See, the thing was, the event happened. He wasn't hosting the event. He was a part of the event. And life happens. Life doesn't always happen on a co-parenting schedule. That's why you co-parent. Because on this week, I might need the kids for a special day. A month from now, it might be your special day, and you're going to need the heads up. That's why you don't want to be petty like this. You don't want to play tit for tat like this, because the kids are going to see this. The kids are going to be affected by it. You don't think the kids are affected by the fact that they wrote a book and there was an event for them and they didn't want to go because mommy was mad at daddy? You got to think about the kids first. J28T, or could he be trying to take attention off of his role in the Atlanta shenanigans? Oh, you mean Maurice? Well, okay. So before the photo was posted, before the reunion last season, Maurice had taken Kimmy out on that romantic date and was like, hey, let's do our honeymoon. So he had planned this and said it before the whole Instagram Atlanta postgate. But I will say this, he's probably being extra special because Kimmy's onto him. This is what I think, in my opinion. Oh, wait, hey Deborah, she said, y'all see how fast Martell posted up with Arion? That right there is the reason why you Melody don't F with him. He planned, it didn't work out, and he do that. No, see, to me, that's the reason why she was being petty and bitter. They're divorced at this point. There comes a time in our lives where we have to heal and move on. They are divorced. It might be painful. It might look a type of way, but he's allowed to be with whoever he wants to be with. That's the hard truth of it at this point. There comes a point in time where you have to heal and move on, not even just for your kids, but for yourself. And the whole situation with the book signing happened before this. So it is what it is. And to me, that proves Melody was being messy. Hey, Miss Bernice. Mwah! She goes, that was some bogus bull for Maurice not to take her on a honeymoon. Girl, you're not going to make me wait 7 years to walk, or however long it was. Well, hey, one and only Amara, Kimmy is so Baltimore. Hey, Miss Bernice, if Martell wanted his kids there, he would have man up and told Melody the week before about the event. I think he did. I think he did. See, I don't buy her narrative anymore. And the reason why I don't buy her narrative anymore is because it's like Thou does protest too much. Every time something comes up and Melody is in the mess, what does she do? She has a scene where it is choreographed, scripted, where she's feeding people lines to make herself look better. If she had any humanity, and by humanity I mean like she could be like, you know what, girl, I did that. I was wrong. I messed up. Blah 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 blah, or whatever the case may be. I would connect with her so much more. When you are actually show up as a full human being and you can say, I messed up, I was shady, I was this, I was messy, I was that, whatever, then I can ride with you because you're a human being and I can connect to that. But when you have to manipulate and control every single narrative about yourself, what are you really hiding? What's really good? Every single scene with Melody, go back and watch it, contrived, scripted, made up, to make her look a certain way. And the work is showing too much. It's showing too much. It's not fun to watch. Who is Melody? Like, wow, I'm confused. Hey, one and only Amara, Mel doesn't want to see Martell win in the least because she's ultra competitive. Exactly. The whole situation was about Mel one-upping Martell, making sure he was not going to elevate, making sure he was not going to have any comeuppance, making sure he wasn't going to look good, not doing him a solid. And this is another thing. Co-parenting or having any type of reciprocal relationship with anybody, regardless of the past, you need to focus on making things right now and then creating a healthy future. So if she would have said, you know what, this is a special day. The kids co-wrote this book. I'm going to make sure the kids can get there. I don't really want to see you, so I'm going to have my assistant drop them off. I'm going to have XYZ drop them off, whatever the case may be. And she would have done that solid. She would have came out so on top. And this was a missed opportunity for Melody. It was a missed opportunity for her because if she wanted us to really think Martell was this horrible person, am I co-signing what he's done in the past? Am I saying he's perfect? No. But in this situation, she missed the opportunity to actually come out on top. If she would have let her kids show up at that book signing, it would have been Martyr Mel, Angel Mel. Look how great she is. She's such a great co-parent. She's being flexible. She's being cooperative. They're working together. And then if Martell had one single slip up, he would have been the absolute worst. But the fact that she used her children as a pawn against him, clear as day, all of these fake excuses she's making, oh, he didn't tell me a day before, that's a lie. And even if he told you the day before, it was for the kids, it wasn't for him. Oh, I don't want to see him, there's a restraining order, BS, all of that stuff. Even if that was the case, which I don't think necessarily it was at this particular time, whoever is doing the drop-offs, because he does have the kids at some point in time, could have gotten the kids or dropped off the kids. That's another excuse that's BS. He did give you advance notice because Martell was talking about this book signing for the last couple of episodes, and he was inviting all of the friends. How is he inviting all the friends but not inviting the children? Doesn't make sense. And you also know that you lied. You were lying because when you did that fake scene with your mom on FaceTime, you were talking to the mom. Remember, she's even said, remember I told you about the email? Remember I told you about the text? And he said this and this and this. So if you already had conversations with your mother about it, if you already had logistical conversations with Martell about it, how are you lying and saying he told you the day before? When did you have these conversations with your mother? When were you having these emails and text messages about the girl's hair getting done? And her tone of the voice was she was still feeling a type of way. The reason why she didn't bring those kids because she was in her feelings. Because remember last season or the season before that, when Martell was really being dirty, he was on his dirt, and he was saying how the kids were dirty at Mel's house and not being taken care of or something like that. I think when he said, oh, will the girl's hair be done or do I need to get them done, triggered her. And I think she got in her feelings because of all the mess that happened before and was just like, nope, I'm not bringing the kids. I'm going to make you pay. I'm going to hurt you the way you hurt me. But the truth is, you really hurt your kids. And I think that is what happened. Hey, Velda. Again, you assume he told her the kids were involved in the book. She didn't say that she said me mentioned a book, not the kids' book. If the kids are writing a book, she knows the kids wrote the book. I mean, there's no way Melody didn't know the kids didn't write the book. That, of course, she knew the kids wrote the book. You're telling me you have 3 kids who wrote the book and the kids didn't say, "Mommy, I wrote a book"? Come on. Hey, Franchette. Martell should have scheduled on his time. Plus, Mel had a death in the family. They were going to. Didn't he get to go on one before he had the kids? Because he had the kids. We talked about this. This is not, the scheduling isn't up to Martell. He was a part of the event. He was not throwing the event. I would agree if he was throwing the event. You throw an event if you want your kids there on your scheduled time. But he was a part of a bigger event. And when you are a part of a bigger event, you don't decide the time or the date. That is already decided for you by the people who are actually throwing an event. Like, you know how you go into an event and you see different vendors, you see different sponsors? Whoever the main person is decides the date and the time and location. And then all of the people who are attending and all of that stuff, they go. It wasn't Martell's event. He was a part of the event. Hey, Denise, disagree. Women with no children, no abusive husband, that she has accommodated many times. You're still off point. Very sad. Okay, you can disagree. I don't think it's very sad, but that's okay. No, it is wrong. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Melody. I don't care if you're Martell. In my opinion, it is wrong to use your children as a pawn to hurt your husband because you're in your feelings. And that is what she did. 100%. That's what she did. She was in her feelings because she's not getting along with Martell and all this stuff that's going on. He made a comment about the children's hair, which triggered her because they had that whole fight last season or the season before that when he made comments about the kids being well in her care. She got in her feelings, and instead of saying, "This is a moment for my kids," she said, "I'm going to make him pay. I'm going to make him feel the way I feel. I'm going to make him hurt. He embarrassed me. I'm going to embarrass him. He took something from me. I'm going to take something from him." But the saddest part is, what is actually sad is that the children at the end of the day are the ones who are going to hurt the most because they will see this one day. And that's just how it is. Mm-hmm. Page 28, has Martell done anything human? Hey, Denise, whose Melody is self-centered, shady, and defensive. I agree. Hey, one and only Amari, girl, you're one of my favorite sayings. Shakespeare always knows. Thou doth protest too much. Exactly. Hey, Velda at J2018. Nope, nothing. Hey, Sunshine. Hey, beauty. Oh, I like your new photo. Girl, you killing it. She goes, maybe I am harsh. However, there is a court order in place for parenting days. So can we consistently follow the order for at least 1 full year or 2 before trying to bend the rules? Well, okay, good point. But Martell said during the episode that in the documents, like in their parenting documents, that on special days, the children are allowed to go to the other parent. And I think given the fact that he wasn't throwing the event, he was a part of the event, he didn't control the date. And I also think the fact that the kids were the co-authors of it, that to me does constitute a special day. So it's in the contract. But I feel you though, in general, you want to get a rhythm and then get everything going. Hey, Miss Bernice. Martell knew the kids weren't going to be there and he was too calm. He didn't go off like usual and start blaming Melody. I think that shows a little bit of growth on his part, and I think he was really sad. I don't think that he was angry. I think he was genuinely sad. I think he was really excited and really looking forward to having the kids come. And I have, trust me, I have gotten up here and I have read Martell for filth, everything. But Martell is a human being too. And I know we were joking before, when has Martell ever been human? But he is a human being too. and they are his children. And as much as he's been narcissistic and self-centered, as much as cheating is wrong and the side baby, I understand that. There does come a point in time where we have to let some stuff go. And we have to start to heal, and we have to start to move forward. And for as shady as Martell has been, and I get that, I think what Melody did was dead wrong. And I do think he was really sad. Hey, Cheryl, I only watch because of Kimmy and Miss Wanda. They are too funny and they don't hold anything back. I agree. I love them both. I love them both. All right, you guys, I'm going to get some more comments and then we're going to wrap up because I've been on here for over an hour. Hey, Joy28T, it's equally as wrong if you and your husband use the kids to hurt your wife. I think they both have done it. This is the thing. I think they both at times have used the kids to hurt each other, but I'm talking about specifically in this situation, it was too strategic on Mel's part. It was too strategic. She made the choice. I'm going to make sure I hurt you by not letting the kids come. It was too strategic. Hey, friendships. I was a child whose parents separated, and my dad used as an excuse to get back with my mom, just like Martell. My mom knew it but said nothing to us, but we learned his ways when we got older. Mm-hmm. Hey, SNG7777. And when you have a court-ordered timing agreement, it is to be adhered to. You cannot accommodate men like Martell when they are constantly manipulative and do not respect boundaries. See, I don't see it in this one. And I'll preface it. I've seen it in other circumstances with him, but in this particular one, this particular instance, I'm Team Martell. 100%. 100% I'm Team Martell. Hey, Valda, 100% Miss Bernice. He was too calm all stage. I think he was sad. This is the thing. I think when Martell pops off with Melody, it's anger. When in this situation, I think he was hurt. And so when he was, and of course, hurt is underneath anger. But when you have anger as the covering, you then pop off and do the most. I think when he pops off and does the most with Melody, it's coming from a place of anger. I think with the book signing, I think he was legitimately hurt that his kids were not there. I think so. And this is another thing. Martell didn't grow up with his father. His father was in and out of prison. And so for Martell to now have his own children and to step up and want to really be an active, present dad, write a book with his children and have this be such a memorable moment, I don't care what Melody says, it was dead wrong. Martell already said in the court papers, they're allowed to have special days. He did not pick the date. Melody was dead wrong. She can try and spin this any way she wants. She was dead wrong. Okay, you guys. I am going to get out of here. Let me take one last one. Hey, SNG77. He had to play it up for the cameras. He was trying to change his image. See, I don't know. I'm pretty good at reading people. And do I think Martell has narcissistic tendencies? 1,000%. Do I think Martell has manipulated and done shady stuff in the past? 100%. Do I think Martell and Melody both still go head to head and they both want to take each other down? Yes. But in this particular incident, I think he was genuinely hurt. And I think Mel was 100% wrong. And I agree with you, J28. You said he is a better dad than average deadbeat, but he isn't doing anything great. I agree with that. But this is the thing, like, it is what it is at this point. Okay, you guys, we have been on here for over an hour, so I wanted to say thank you, and I love you, and I appreciate you spending this time with me. We had such a fun kiki. If you're watching this on the replay, keep the comments coming. Comment below. Let me know, do you agree? Do you disagree? Whatever your opinion is, it is welcomed here. You don't have to agree with me. Feel free to disagree. We can always have a fun kiki. I love you guys. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. We'll be back this week with more reality recaps. We'll be doing Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Not Salt Lake City, the OC. And what's the other one that's on right now? New Jersey. And I'll also be doing, if you're into self-care, self-love, and manifestation, it's all linked below. I have a podcast on it. We also do self-care sessions here on my YouTube channel. I also have a Create Your Dream Life course. A lot of my candy canes have taken it, and I've gotten some great feedback. So that's all linked below. And if you ever have any questions or you want to contact me directly, just email assistant@candywashington.com. Or you can DM me on Instagram @CandyWashington. Just give me a follow and then DM me and we can chat. I love you guys. Thank you so much for holding it down with me. Miss Bernice, you know I love you so much. You are my homie lover friend. I love you. Velda, thank you so much for coming through. I love you too, my beautiful candy canes. Mwah. She says bye. Yes. So that is it, you guys. I love you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Take care of yourself and each other, and be well. I love you. Bye.
3 can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. Have You Seen Me seamlessly picks up where Gossip Girl leaves off, but with more sex, more lies, and more dead bodies a la How to Get Away with Murder and You. When a coveted member of a group of entitled yet ambitious 20-somethings goes missing, their deadly secret is threatened to be exposed. But the real question is, who will be next? Read Have You Seen Me by creator Candy Washington on Amazon Kindle Vella, or listen and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts.